Okay, so with the release of chapter 210 of the Blue Lock manga, the long-awaited match between the Ubers and Bastion Munich is finally underway. It's an understatement to say the least that the community, my Discord especially, go check it out if you haven't already joined, has been waiting very, very impatiently for this game to finally take place. However, more so than any other game that we've seen up to this point, everybody seems to be widely divided on what the outcome of this game is actually going to be. So today, I wanted to tackle this subject head-on and give you, my loyal subjects, my honest and true opinion on how I believe this game is going to go. Story beats to touch upon, rivalries and awakenings we're bound to see, and of course, who the eventual winner will be. Before we get into this, I just wanted to say thank you guys for the insane support on last video, as well as the continued growth of this channel. We are on the road to 20k, and my, doesn't that number just sound so delicious? You know the drill, grab some snacks, fill your cup, and make sure you finish what you're doing before your mom gets home. Don't worry, she's coming back from my place, I kind of live a little far. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright, first things first, we gotta discuss the Ubers. The team from Italy, said to specialize in tactics and led by the quote-unquote strategic nut Mark Snuffy. Based on both what we've seen and what's been stated so far, it's clear to see that the Ubers game plan is straight clamps. And oh baby, do I love me some clamps. I talked about in my Ubers video way back when, you can check that out for some of my earlier opinions on how this was gonna go, but this is definitely crazier than I initially expected. Not only are they running a 3-5-1-1 formation with literally Barrow and Sendao being the only players positioned past midfield, but the level of competition has been raised exponentially with the introduction of yet another world level player. From here, we can take a look at the Ubers lineup itself, ignoring side characters because I genuinely really don't care. I mean, they'll be Agi level, maybe Grim level at best, but nothing to write home about. We see that 5 of the Blue Lock and U20 participants who went to Italy actually managed to land starting roles. Starting things off, we gotta talk about the king. Barrow Shoei, now boasting red Adidas streaks in his hair and a massive offer of 100 million following his hat-trick against Barca, is positioned as the lone striker. I'm honestly expecting some big things from Barrow here, I'm not gonna lie. As covered in nauseum over on my Discord, on lives that you've seen on YouTube here, or just in random ass Reddit threads that you'll find, Barrow's been a pretty controversial player ever since the hat-trick took place. Scoring a hat-trick no matter what deserves its praise, especially when it's against a professional level team like Barca, but this game is gonna be where we truly see what the Reborn King is all about. The matchups here are going to be insane. I'd love to see him interact with players like Ness and Raichi, as I feel like some very funny moments can spawn from both of those. Him and Kunigami could have some pretty good back and forth tests of strengths, as the two of them seem to be the biggest meatheads in the facility at least. I do think though that I am most excited to see his matchup with Kaiser. I mean, come on, how can you not be hyped for this? Both are extreme egoists who refer to themselves as kings, boast extremely impressive abilities on the pitch, can talk ludicrous amounts of shit, have the same op, and oh my lord, if this man Barrow tells Kaiser that he's just another Isagi like he did with Reen, I swear to God, I will die a happy man. But, my dear egoist, there is truly no matchup more hyped up than the reunion of Dog and his owner. In the chapters following the Munchen City game, we have been itching to see Isagi play once again. After unlocking Metavision in the previous match, this man is genuinely on demon time to the point where he's making his own team his ops. Like, who the fuck does that? We all know the history here. Isagi and Barrow have a rivalry almost on par with himself and Reen, as the pair constantly manage to one-up each other any chance they get. Add to it the fact that Barrow, since news of his Barca hat-trick has been hyped up insanely by the community, it's safe to say that when they run it back, it's not going to be a match. It's going to be a fucking scrap. I'm predicting 2 goals for the king, 1 to start off the scoring for the Ubers, and then 1 to end the game. Moving along to the rest of the lineup. Sorry for that, Barrow's kind of like the sole focus on the team. We have Sendo, the fraudulent ace for the U20 team, positioned behind Barrow as the central forward of the team. Not much to expect here in my opinion. He wouldn't get a big moment, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see him have some sort of a clutch defensive stop like he did in the U20. Speaking of defense, we have 3 players to talk about. First up, Mr. Bullcut Icky Nico himself. Nico is one of my most anticipated returns, as I do believe we were going to see a crazy evolution from him. I like how he's been positioned at the CDM spot, as he's always been more of a pass-first player, as well as his defense becoming ridiculous, and this position kind of allows him to serve as the team's watchtower the best, as he's going to have the widest field of vision. I'd love to see a Nico and Isagi rematch, obviously, and I do feel like Nico kind of deserves a little bit of a get back, but that's just me. Also, please just give him Metavision, like, come on, I'm just going to predict it right now, but just do it. Like, please, just do it. Moving on, we have the glamorous RU positioned at the left back spot. Not much to say here again. I mean, don't get me wrong, RU is one of the better players in the facility, as his second selection ranking as well as the U20 performance shows. But from a storyline perspective, he really does not have much going on. Surely he'll be around for some funny one-liners and probably going to show off his hops again, because every time they do, it's pretty sick. It's a rare anime W if I say so myself. Still excited to see his evolution, but like I said, not much overall significance. Finally rounding out the familiar faces, we have the Clamp God himself, well, former Clamp God, I think I should say, but put that on hold for 1 second. Oliver motherfucking Aiku. God, I don't know what it is, but I love Aiku so much as a character. He's had like barely any screen time. He got introduced in the U20, and he was an op, by the way. I don't know, I just find him so cold. He's so dope. His character design, his playstyle, everything about him. Similar to RU, he doesn't have much going on in terms of story significance. However, I can't imagine that we won't see Aiku in Ultra fucking Instinct this game, dude. Like, we haven't seen him since the U20, and keep in mind, he went to the Ubers, the one team that's known for strategy and defense and tactics. What he excels at the best. You can't tell me he's not going to come back a literal demon, right? I'm sure he's going to terrorize not only Isagi, but the entire BM offense throughout the match. And please, 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 please let him be the one to stop Kaiser Impact. That's all I'm asking for, please. Now, one thing that I did find interesting was that Aiku, the up to this point best defender that we knew of in the series, wasn't actually the central defender. It would make sense for the strongest to be at the core, right? So why isn't Aiku there? Well, this is the case on the Ubers, but the best isn't the God Snake, but the Italian stallion rocking a grill and neck tat similar to Kaiser, member of the New Gen World 11, the Ace-Eater Don Lorenzo, has entered the fucking chat. Admittedly, I was holding out hope that the goalkeeper was still going to be the New Gen 11 player for the Ubers, but I can't complain about this. I'm sorry, Lorenzo's so dope. Shout out Truther for actually calling this one. I mean, you're not the capper for once. Round of applause. Unlike the defenders we've seen before, Lorenzo is a skinny yet seemingly lightning fast defender. Known for his ability to devour the ace on each team, he quickly fathers Kaiser in his first appearance in the manga. His character design, his nickname, and honestly just his whole overall vibe is a huge W in my opinion. We really don't have a character similar to Lorenzo anywhere in the series, so it's kind of good to build up the world a little bit. And in my opinion, I can't wait to see what he has in store. It's going to be sick. That brings us to the final piece we have to talk about with the Ubers, that being their master striker. The man known for bringing victory to any club he joins, the Crown Messenger, Mark Snuffy. Now, Snuffy has been the topic of many conversations for quite some time, especially on my channel. I've been very hyped up for this man's first appearance. So excited, and I honestly can't wait to see what he's got cooking. As has been stated by Noah himself, Snuffy is a strategist to an almost psychotic extent. There's no doubt in my mind that he's formulated some insane game plan to crush BM, but my question is, just what is it? Is it a simple game plan consisting of overwhelming defensive pressure followed by quick counters, or is it something more malicious than that? What kind of a player is Snuffy, and if he's so strategic, what would he truly consider doing to win? Your guess is as good as mine at the end, and truly we don't know anything about him, but if I was to make a wild guess here, Snuffy will beat Noel Noah in a one-on-one encounter, possibly after goading a frustrated Isagi to challenge his skill, similar to when he devoured the world's number 2 Chris Prince. The interference will allow Snuffy to take advantage like Lavinho did in the Barca match, leading him to surpassing Noah in that moment, leading to a drop in morale in the entirety of Bayern Munich, shifting the tone of the game in favor of the Ubers, giving them a lead 2-1. That pretty much covers the Ubers, and as far as Bayern Munich's concerned, there's not much to talk about that we don't already know. Cool to see Raichi finally getting some playing time. It's going to be fun to see what this sexy football is actually all about, but I am kind of bummed to see Hiyori didn't make the starting lineup, even when he was given that backstory chapter. I'm sure his time's coming, but we're going to have to be patient. I don't know. Maybe he's going to be a sub like he was in the U20. I don't see much that Noel Noah is going to be doing this game outside of either guiding or maybe even scolding Isagi for his play. But there will be the Snuffy matchup, and I'm not going to lie, I'd love to see Barrow square up to the world's number 1 and just talk some mad shit to him, because that is genuinely the most Barrow thing possible. Ness seems to be on a hate boner warpath to reclaim Kaiser's love from Isagi, so expect some sort of Ness evolution at some point in the game. Kuruna and Gagamaru finna be goats as always, and most importantly, the attacking trio of Kaiser, Isagi, and Kunigami are the most important players in this match. In the case of Isagi, he actually has a lot on his plate this match. He has to go up against a significant amount of ops, Barrow, Nico, Aiku, RU, not to mention he's fighting against his own teammates at the same exact time, while also trying to perfect his 100% goal formula, which, like I covered in my 209 chapter video, I believe is going to tie into Kunigami. I believe Isagi is trying to recreate the tandem play between him and Noel Noah, using Kunigami to play the role as the world's number 1 due to him supposedly possessing the exact same physical ability. I expect Isagi to try and make this work a couple times, which Kunigami, still being on his emo shit, is going to ignore and try to score on his own. Eventually, after many failed attempts, Kunigami will either give in or subconsciously link up with Isagi, leading to him scoring the game-tying goal for Bayern Munich. Kaiser himself is fired up too, as he's starting to see Isagi as an actual threat worth devouring. I expect Kaiser to score one absolutely ridiculous goal this game, where he actually manages to shred the Uber's impenetrable defense and open the scoring for Bayern Munich with a beautiful Kaiser impact. But I believe that his Kaiser impact is going to be blocked by hopefully Aiku, but most likely Lorenzo. There are going to be way too many iconic moments to come out of this match, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to favor Bayern Munich. I know this may be a hot take, but I'm sorry, I don't see the Ubers losing this match. I see this game being a big lesson for not only Isagi, but Kaiser, Kunigami, and the rest of Bayern Munich. I think that the way the story's headed now, the PXG game is getting set up to be basically the biggest match we've seen since the U20, meaning that this game against the Ubers will serve to set up the protagonist to be in a must-win situation going into the final game, leading to a possible union of the entire Bayern Munich team. But I mean, I could be wrong. BM just obliterates the Ubers and entire story would just be pretty lame. If that's the case, then Barrow and Snuffy score for the Ubers, and then Kaiser scores 2 goals with Kunigami drilling in the game-winning goal in the exact same manner that I already talked about. But yeah, with that said, I think that's all I got for you today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel with post notifications turned on so you never miss another banger like this one from myself. Let me know in the comments down below what your predictions are, who you got winning this game, Bastard or the Ubers. And that's all I got for you today. Love you guys. Take it easy.